mid-20th century, coho salmon in California have been facing extinction as their natural habitat is being degraded. 25 years ago, as many as 100,000 to 300,000 coho salmon spawned each year in Northern California and the southern Oregon coastal streams. Today, less than 5,000 still swim upstream to lay their eggs and fertilize their eggs. During the 1990s, the declining population triggered the closure of all commercial and recreational fisheries for coho salmon within California. Soon after that, the California coho salmon became listed under both the California Endangered Species Act, the CESA, and the Federal Endangered Species Act, the ESA. Coho salmon historically were widely distributed and abundant in the coastal watersheds of central and northern California, ranging from the Smith River near the Oregon border to the San Lorenzo River in Santa Cruz County of central California. The 1980s was the last time coho salmon were seen in the San Francisco Bay Area.
According to biologists at the University of California, Davis, an estimated 32 species of salmon and trout will become extinct within the next 50 years. This is mainly due to climate change factors as well as the deprivation of the rivers in which they dwell. These rivers are home to the coho salmon, a species of salmon put on the endangered list mainly because of large human interactions. There are 4 broad categories into which these human interactions can be placed under. These include the loss of suitable habitat, overexploitation, over-interaction with these species, and climate change factors. Coho salmon used to be widely distributed in northern and central California. From Pueblo County north to the Oregon border, around 2/3 of streams were inhabited by schools of coho salmon. This number changes dramatically when compared to south of the area, where in the San Francisco Bay, nearly all streams and rivers are depleted of coho salmon. This is mainly caused by increased urbanization and human developments. Maintaining salmon populations is important because it requires a river full of clean and cold water, which benefits more than just the salmon. It also benefits humans. The ability of a school of salmon to strive in a body of water means that the water is healthy, which also means healthy drinking water. It's good for our agriculture, our trade, and it is overall healthy for our environment. Decreases in coho salmon populations is disastrous on the ecosystems in which they dwell. Coho salmon are keystone species that play an important role in the nutrient cycle. When juvenile coho salmon are old enough, they leave their original freshwater and terrestrial biomes and move to marine biomes like the ocean. In these biomes, their body tissue gain nutrients. Around 99% of their body tissue are composed of nitrogen, carbon, and phosphorus after this point. When they are old enough and mature enough to go back to their original biomes to spawn, they bring with them these nutrients and leave it in the area by decomposition of their carcasses, deposition of eggs, and consumers that eat the salmon and later leave their nutrients in the soil by urine or feces. Coho salmon play an important role because in coastal watersheds in northern and central California, nutrients are very limited. Nutrients increases productivity, and to take away from the nutrients from this biome would have disastrous effects and mean an end of the whole environment. Coho salmon and salmon as a whole are also the biological foundation for river ecosystems and have a major role in human culture and economies. Salmon fuels a $3 billion industry and supplies tens of thousands of jobs to local economies and communities around the Pacific Rim. They depend not only on their nutritional and protein values, but as well as a source of income. Humans rely heavily on salmon, not only for their protein value, but also their economic value. Native people have always believed salmon to be a life-sustaining centerpiece of their culture, dating back millennia. In short, salmon are the key protectors in the way life is rooted in the Northern Pacific environment and economy. By protecting salmon, we're not only protecting the environment, but also the forests, foods, water, communities, and economy it encompasses.
The best way to prevent the extinction of coho salmon is to clean up the streams. Everything starts from the streams, and it will help the coho salmon live longer. Some ways that can help clean the stream is volunteer work, working on infiltration system, and creating FOSS habitats. With more volunteers, there will be more people to help clean our streams. As we know, the rise of temperature from the various factors seem to be the main cause of extinction. It only takes a few hours of your time to pick up trash by the streams, and it's for a good cause. Volunteers can also come up with plans to help protect the environment. Infiltration systems can help filter the contaminated water in the streams into fresh, clean, and safe water. By filtering the water, it can help decrease the temperature, which is more suitable for the salmon to live in. The hazardous material that's being collected from the streams can be converted to energy in factories. Infiltration systems is an easier and safer way that the public can all agree on. The creation of FOSS habitats can be a sanctuary for the coho salmon to produce their eggs. Before cleaning the streams, the salmon should be moved to FOSS habitats. FOSS habitats will have clean water and no predators around, which can help the coho salmon repopulate themselves. Also, the programs can monitor the FOSS habitats to make sure the salmon are safe. Cleaning out the streams will take at least a couple of years because the streams can stretch all over California, and that's a lot of land to cover. Also, it depends on how many volunteers are willing to clean and transport the coho salmon to the designated FOSS habitats. Once the streams are clean, the salmon can return safely to their previous areas. Hopefully, government agencies like the EPA or the Fish and Wildlife Services can be more strict on the companies that dump hazardous material in order to prevent another catastrophe from occurring with the coho salmon.
Agriculture in the past 100 years alone has taken a huge impact on California. Not only is this affecting the coho salmon in the waterways that are supposed to be abundant, but it's affecting all the other organisms that are supposed to rely on the same exact systems. We can't tell people to stop what they're doing or just reverse agriculture, but we can fight agriculture with agriculture. There's a ton of technologies that we've used to revolutionize that all seem to have been notorious for what they do and have a bad side effect for the next 10 years. Why can't we just avoid that? Why can't we do something that we know will help the world, or hopefully help? Can't really guarantee anything. Instead of diverting waterways to go help marijuana farms, why don't we divert waterways to create new streams for salmon? Let's rebuild the streams, create false habitats. Creating false habitats seems to be the key to increasing biodiversity throughout all of California, throughout the Pacific coast, eventually throughout the world. Our biodiversity in this world is rock bottom. Sad. Using agriculture and our newly found technologies in California to create false habitats seems to be our best method that we have to fight the extinction of coho salmon. We really need to focus on repairing our waterways because this is what the problem solely revolves around. You need to decrease the overall temperature of water because salmon rely on a 4 degrees Celsius temperature range to incubate their eggs, meaning anything below. We have a few methods for increasing the water temperature in California, some of which includes getting rid of major blocking waterways such as dams and flood control, because those just dry up streams on one end and raise the temperature on the other. They're a huge problem. They prevent salmon from continuing to other places. Basically, we just want to restore the waterways, increase the amount of water there, and increase the temperature. Another thing that we can do is fix our sanctuaries, create a better, basically fake habitat to sanctuary. Hopefully by this, we can bring in more ocean water into our freshwater systems, and at the same time, maybe a little bit more salmon. Yes? No? Maybe. Hopefully. Remember, everything has to be also in aid with cleaning up our streams and monitoring, because that is a huge part of creating these false habitats. We need to protect the salmon against predators, such as all of these random foreign species that just inhabited California within the past 50 years. Thankfully, because we're creating a whole bunch of new tasks to basically restore California, we are adding a bunch of jobs into our economy, so that's helping itself altogether. However, The funding is a little bit of an issue. We rely a lot on volunteer work. Volunteer work. If not, all of our funding is grant-based, and we do get funds from like the Pacific Coastal Salmon Recovery Fund, which is a government organization, and they, on average, donate about $1.3 million worth of funds that they've collected throughout the country just for this one specific issue.
In the future, if our solution proves to have a definite and lasting effect, we hope that the population of the coho salmon resurges to a satisfactory level so that they may be taken off the endangered species list. In addition, if successful, our method may provide a basis for saving countless other aquatic species and ecosystems the world over. In the event that no action takes place to stop the decline in the population of the coho salmon, however, we run the risk of letting a species that has been integral to California's history go extinct. Furthermore, wild coho salmon will cease to exist, and genetic diversity will be reduced to what only exists in California's salmon habitat.